Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is T and Jae, and we're here to talk to you guys about a really hot topic right now. If you are not living under a rock, you know that AI generated art is a really hot topic. There's a ton of discussion and a ton of debate going on around AI generated art. We actually have a video coming up about how to incorporate AI generated art into your business model
in order to make more sales. So, if you guys are interested in learning how to use AI in your business to make money, definitely make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure that you like this video and also make sure that you share this video with others so that it can get pushed out to as many people as possible. Because in this video, we're going to be talking about basically the ethics of AI, like our opinions on it. And it's going to be kind of a stream of consciousness. It's going to be messy, but that's okay. Hopefully, we just get our
basic
opinions out.
thoughts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, like if you guys have seen some discussions, like we have, or even if you haven't, know that there are a lot of people who are on like far on one opinion, and others who have an extremist kind of view that's opposing that opinion. There are some people who are in the middle ground, but there are a lot of people who are just, really people who are far into the like we shouldn't be using this kind of camp,
Mm-hmm.
and then
And they
other
tend to be
people.
artists. They tend to be the artists who are like,
Yes.
no, this sucks.
Yeah, true. And then there's people who are like, no, full steam ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're going to kind of explain where we kind of fall in this argument, and let you guys know like how you can use it ethically. We always kind of say that like when there's really extremist views on both sides, usually the answer is somewhere in the middle. And so just like those arguments, we kind of found ourselves in the same situation here.
So I guess we'll start with some of the comments that we're seeing online, like some people's concerns. A lot of artists were saying that this is such a bad idea, AI generated art, because it's going to replace artists. People have been concerned that even working with AI generators is not worth it because it learns so quickly that basically they feel like it's going to outpace them anyways. And some people who have been interested in pursuing art as a career are now questioning whether that's a good idea anymore. And I find that to be really sad. People really think that like technology is going to replace them. And like what they don't understand is that technology is supposed to be neutral. It has been weaponized against humanity, you could argue, but in its purest state, technology is supposed to be a tool that's used to make our lives easier. And also, we get into the esoteric side of things on our channel, so there is another point that I think we should also make.
Yeah, AI can never replace the human artist. You guys know that we're gonna go with it here because we're Destiny Manifeste. We're not Jim down the road. So we got to get into the esoterics of this. Did you guys know that the creative aspect of the human has never been mapped inside of the brain? Now you can actually go and look this up. We always say don't, take our words at face value, go and research, but it's never really been mapped like that creative spark. And that's because it's not inside of the brain. Your consciousness isn't inside of the brain. The brain is a processor. The brain processes information. And in that same way, they built AI based on the functioning of the human brain to be able to process much faster, albeit, but to be able to process all this information and output, faster than we might be able to.
Mm-hmm.
But can it create like we do? It's not going to create its own style of art. It can reference different things. It can probably combine styles and stuff like that. But the way that somebody can just get a spark of inspiration and create something completely new, it can't do that. It can't do that. It creates kind of in its own way, but it doesn't have that divine creation that us human beings have. So there's one part of it, but that's not to say that there's no real life repercussions of AI art.
I was also going to quickly add that it doesn't have that soul connection to source. So, like, that's the reason why it's never going to be more creative than a person. So, we're always a blueprint for technology.
That's
So,
true.
how it's like asking, oh, like, is the blueprint going to one day be irrelevant? What? No,
Don't discredit
absolutely not.
yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There are technocrats in this world who do believe that, like, no, like technology is better than people. But please do not believe that. We have been taught for too long that like, we're like worthless as humans.
Anti-human.
Anti-humanism. We
Yeah.
have videos on that. Like, please watch our video on anti-humanism. But yes, the real world repercussions.
For real world repercussions, there's a few of them. It's not just because there's this. Yes, it will never replace the human being. Yes, we know, but there are going to be repercussions, and we're very realistic about that.
Mhm.
For example, somebody who really is a big fan of, I don't know, The Simpsons or something like that, or some kids who really really love Amphibia. Maybe if they used to get commissions from somebody who would do fan art of The Simpsons or fan art of Amphibia, maybe you won't see their sales anymore, because maybe these people will be able to just input as a prompt, such and such in the style of The Simpsons or something, or in the style of Amphibia, and be able to pull up something. Now I know it's more than that, but maybe they'd be able to pull up something that way, and then it would kind of eliminate their need to go through like artist who can draw in that style. Sadly, like that is a real world repercussion.
Yeah, there's actually been artists who are talking about noticing like a lack of, or like a drop in like commissions. And some people have even said like they've seen people say, "Oh, I don't have to get commissions for my OC anymore, for my original characters. I can just go through the art generators." So yeah, those are the real world repercussions that we're already seeing taking place.
Lastly, people do worry about like large companies using AI art instead of like hiring artists and stuff like that, like straight out of college, maybe an illustration artist, an animation artist. And yeah, that is huge. And I think that there would have to be something in place to make sure that like maybe these companies make sure that they're actually hiring talents. Maybe there would have to be something done there. But it seems like that would be a really, really big issue. Not so much the little guy, but the big guys that we should be worried about. So again, we're very middle ground about this. We can see that there's both, there's the good side and there's also the not so good side of it.
Now, we do kind of wonder if there are already like major art studios out there already using AI technology, because guys, remember, all the technology they give us to play with is stuff that they are already finished with. Like, it's old technology to them.
It's like a kid with their new toy and then they're done with it and they're like, you can have it,
right?
When it's old.
Everything from our phones to like the internet and stuff. This stuff was all military. Like, military was using this stuff first. Yeah, it was military grade at one point. The militaries have been 50 years ahead of us in general in terms of technology. Now, apparently, I've heard that they're 300 years ahead of us. You can do your research. But I can't imagine the stuff that they're using right now.
And what they used it for.
Exactly.
Because the realism that it's able to recreate
is kind of scary.
I wonder what they used that for.
Thank you. But where did they get the references for the realism? I mean, there's lots of social media platforms where people share their photo, but listen, I don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, there's art studios right now where people have talked about how their characters these days throughout different movies look very much the same. So who knows? Who knows if they've already replaced a lot of artists in different,
like, on their team.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, you're done telling me about a comment that somebody made who actually, like, of a person who actually worked in the art industry, and there was like kind of like an automated kind of or automatic coloring
program.
Program.
Yeah.
Thank you, for lack of a better word. I'm so sorry, but yes, that was used to kind of replace their colorist.
Yeah.
So
that's so sad. It's already happening.
Yeah, it is happening. So it's not to say that there aren't real repercussions. We're not going to be all sunshine and fairy tales, over here. Like, yes, there are real world repercussions. Mm-hmm. But trust and believe, this didn't just come about. It, just like Jae said, it's been used. This technology has been here.
Yes.
So it's not going to go anywhere.
Mm-mm. And guys, there is a bit of a bright side, though. Like, not even a bit. There's a bright side to this as well. There are always going to be people who are willing to spend money on their favorite artist. There are people who are art collectors. They go to the art museums, or they go to the art shows, or they go to the conventions, and they'll spend hundreds or thousands or sometimes even millions of dollars on the artwork that they respect from the people that they like, you know, because people are always going to support the people they know, like, and trust. So people are always going to be out here buying their traditional paintings, their sketches, their digital artwork from the people that they follow and love. Traditional art did not disappear just because of the emergence of like Photoshop and Clip Studio Paint. There's room for everyone, you know?
That's
so it's just going to be
true.
another area of art.
I think that, and we talked about this, what people are going to have to start trying to focus on more is growing your audience. And, you know, once you get, like, it's as they say, when you have your 1,000 true fans, then you're set, you're fine.
Thank
you know?
you. Yep.
If they're going to be like, well, I can get this artwork generated over here, but I want this that was made with love and care from my favorite artist. I want this bookmark specially designed by them. They're going to do that. So this doesn't negate the need for human beings, human creators. It's not going to.
So basically, learning to do art is still a worthy pursuit as well, because it's crazy how people have even started to question that.
We also want to get a little bit into the ethics of it, because I think that that's where there's a really, really huge contention. Everybody knows there's going to be an impact from this new technology. Now, is it ethical to use? There's no laws against using laws against using AI art, guys.
That's true.
You're not going to get any copyright issues. I mean, we go more into it in our other video, into the nuances of that. But like, as it stands, you're not committing a crime using AI art. Like, don't let people scare you into thinking, I can't use this. Like, no, you're allowed to use AI art. You're allowed to.
Thank you.
You know, if you need to hear that, you are allowed to.
Like, guys, there's already a young AI artist. I'm not sure if you know them, but they were the first person to create an all AI generated comic. And for using it in such an innovative way, they're being rewarded with a movie. They're getting a movie in Hollywood. So if this was illegal, they would be arrested or sued. They wouldn't be getting, you know, such an amazing opportunity. So I think that also should like lay that accusation to rest. Like,
yeah, the fortune favors the brave, guys.
Exactly.
They were the first one to decide, like, hey, I'm going to use this in this innovative way, and they were rewarded for it. So think in terms of that instead of like holding yourself back.
Exactly. There's actually this amazing business entrepreneur. I don't know if you guys know him, but his name is Gary Vee. He's on YouTube. Check him out. And he has always preached to be at the forefront of new technology. He said even if like a new social media app comes up, even if like there's new technology and you have no plans to really incorporate it into your life or into your business, he said just try it out. Just try it out. What can that hurt? Because you never know. It could blow up for you. It could be the thing that launches whatever it is you're trying to do into the mainstream. So I wouldn't shun it. That's not a very smart business move for all you artists out there who are trying to get your work out there, to especially to sell. I wouldn't just, push it away.
Find a way to incorporate it in a new innovative way.
This is just the way that the world's going, and we should see like how we can use it to benefit ourselves as long as we're being ethical. I think one of the only ways that you could be unethical with it is if you're going about it in this way. Like a lot of people who say like, oh, it's stealing, it's just going to steal from all of us. They're always referencing this idea that like, oh, people would use like in the style of, when they're trying to generate artwork, they would say in the style of this person, create a girl sitting on a chair or something like that. And it's like, no style is copyrighted. But like that's unethical.
Yeah, and this is our opinion. This is not what any law says.
True.
But in our opinion, it's one thing if the AI kind of uses a bunch of different references to be able to see how to draw the eyes and draw the nose and draw the lips of this girl. It's another thing to be like, I'm trying to rip off this artist over here named Jennifer Ackles. Come on. And especially if you want to take that art and then sell it, you know in your own self that that's wrong to do. Even if it's not against the law, that's not nice to do. It's,
Yeah. And I would say that like most business people looking to use AI in their art, trust me, we would never do something so risky. we're selling on, a lot of us, we're selling on our own platforms, but we're also selling on marketplaces, and marketplaces have strict rules against like copyright. So if there was any sort of risk to our accounts with like gray area things, why would we risk our accounts?
Yeah.
Trust me, we are not out here doing that. That is just unintelligent.
Thank you.
So you don't have to worry that your personal style, no one's going to risk putting your work or putting something that looks like your work on their things to sell. It's not worth being banned from these marketplaces. There's
That's
some of
what
them
a smart person would, a smart
Right?
business person, yes.
Thank you. It's just not worth it. So we're not out here doing that. I think that the people who are most likely to use that sort of prompt in the style of is, unfortunately, it's going to be the little kids. It's going to be the little kids. They don't know any better, or they don't care. They've got nothing to lose. They're not selling anything. They're not really taking money from you, but they, like, I could see them doing that.
Yeah, me too. I could see them do like, oh, this is my favorite artist. What do they like these days? What
do they like these days? We're not that old.
I know. But they like
Chainsaw Man.
No.
What?
I was gonna say that stupid one. It's not stupid. But like they like Has Been Hotel or something like that. Like with the little demons or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so if they were like, oh, like in the style of Vizzy Pop, I could see them creating like a little character that, you know, from that series, or like that kind of looks like it belongs to that series. But they're not going to sell it, like you know.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, at the same time, we do understand that is like also like a gray area space, and that's even why now double check again, don't just take our words at face value, but Stable Diffusion, I believe their newest version has actually made it so that people can't, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they made it so that people can't use artist names in their prompts anymore. I don't know about classical artists, like Michelangelo's been dead, like, so I don't know if they've added those ones, but like I don't think that you're allowed to use, if I'm not mistaken, like different artists as a prompt for the style, as well as like celebrities, as well as like more not safe for work, like kind of explicit stuff. Like they also are trying to crack down on that too. So like I think that they are understanding that like this may become a like from a gray area space to like something that does, you know, have like some legality, some legitimacy in that way, and they're trying to take precautions. So again, we would just say like just don't do it. Like as a person who's going to be a creator of AI art, like don't do that.
Yeah, because it might not even be illegal now, but they might decide 2 years from now that, you know what, it is illegal.
Yeah.
And then what? You're going to be hit with like a case 2 years from now?
Yeah,
No.
why would you do that to yourself?
Right.
So just think in terms of like what can happen in the future, and just be ethical.
Exactly.
Be ethical.
It's not hard.
You know?
I did hesitate to add this one last thing to also consider, but I guess I'll add it anyways. We do have to be careful not to be kind of ableist as well, because there are people who respect many different forms of art, and then there are people who insist no, AI art is it's nothing, it's a nothing burger, it doesn't deserve any sort of accolades at all. You know, they've only got pure negative things to say about it. But there are people who physically can't take up a pen or a pencil and draw. Maybe they have an injury, maybe they had some kind of illness, maybe they've been able to draw in the past, but you know, for some reason they can't use their hands in the way that they used to. And so being able to type a few words, maybe they can manage that, or they can use like the voice to typing sort of commands on their computers, and they're able to generate art, you know?
They're able to express themselves.
I don't know. It just feels kind of ableist to be like, no, if you can't, you know, pick up a pencil and sketch, then that's not art. I don't know. I think that's a little bit mean. It's so easy to sometimes just forget that there are people who really can't physically draw.
Or paint.
And it might be due to pain or injury or loss of limb. So like we gotta be careful with that too. Like
it makes the conversation so much more nuanced.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just to, like, imagine how they'd feel like reading those type of negative comments.
I know.
You know, that's painful.
No, for real. So that's why we are really in the middle of this, because we, you know, there's arguments that are valid on both sides, but also, you know, this isn't going to go away, we know, and you're right. So like that's why we're really in the middle for this. Like we're we're for the technology being able to be used, but we're for it being used ethically.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that on that for me.
Right. Me too. That was an interesting conversation for sure. I hope that we brought something new to the conversation. I haven't heard anyone bring up some of the stuff we said. Somebody else also. Ooh, well, let me mention one more thing. Somebody also said like it's interesting how people are upset about like art scraping when we are using a lot of social media platforms that are scraping everything from us, from our keystrokes to our voices to looking through our cameras, recording us.
Mm-hmm. That's not a conspiracy, guys. That is true.
Right. So, anywho, if you enjoyed this discussion and you want to add to it in the comments while being respectful, of course, then we definitely want to hear from you. We'll read all the comments.
I agree. You guys, we would love to have a discussion on this, and I would just say subscribe so that you can know when the next video is coming out, because we got the new AI video coming out. It's gonna be really, really good, guys.
It really is.
It's really exciting.
Hit
We're
the
really
bell.
excited about it.
Thank you. Yeah, hit the bell so you guys can know when it comes out. And see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.